first grade friends, hi first grade families. Hope you guys are having an amazing Wednesday. Happy Earth Day, by the way. If you have a moment this week, maybe take a nature walk and observe the beauty of Mother Earth. Or if you have some gloves and an adult goes with you, go on a nature walk and help clean up some trash, right? Because we only get one Earth, so we should probably take care of her, yeah? All right, on to science, woo! Last week, I had you use your 5 senses to observe an object. So use sight, smell, taste, hearing, and touch to observe an object. A lot of you chose food, some of you chose toys, and I had a student who went on a bike ride and he observed the air. Very creative. Today in science, we're going to talk about a type of energy called sound. What? Sound? Yes, how is it that I am videotaping at my house, but at your house, you can hear me and see me? Technology. Science is everywhere! So today for science, here is your target. I'll give you a second to read it to yourself, have a family member read it to you, and really pay attention to the underlined words. Okay, let's do it together. I will be able to make sound by making objects vibrate. So sound, vibrate, and this word matter are going to be our 3 vocab words for today, okay? So you are going to create sound, boys and girls. There you go. So sound, it's all around us, just like science. So I want you to take a moment and pause the video, and I want you to use your observation skills using your senses. And what sounds do you hear? So go ahead and pause. What sounds did you hear? I heard a car go by our house, I heard my dog snoring, and I heard the birds chirping. All right? Sound is everywhere. Now sound, like I said, is a type of energy created by matter that vibrates. Whoa, time out, Mrs. Anderson. What does all of that mean? Good question. So sound, the things that we hear, say that with me, sound. It is created, made, when you have matter. Say that with me, matter, which is a scientific way to say basically a thing, an object. Matter is a solid, like my table, a liquid, like water, or a gas, like air. That is matter. Solid, liquid, gas. Think that in your head. Matter is a solid, liquid, or a gas. And say it to a family member. Matter is a solid, a liquid, or a gas. Good. So when you have a solid, a liquid, or a gas, when it vibrates, say that word, vibrate, that means it goes back and forth slowly or moves back and forth quickly. When the matter vibrates, it then creates sound. You're right. So let's do an experiment to test this out. So in a minute, pause the video to grab 2 water glasses, one that is empty and one that is full of water, and a spoon. Okay, go ahead, pause the video, grab those 3 things. Okay, so here I have my water glass. It's empty, it just has air inside of it. Now, what happens when I take a spoon and I vibrate, make it move in the water glass? Let's test it out and see, right? So I'm gonna go all the way down to the bottom of the glass and let's see or hear what it does. Create sound. There's nothing inside of it, doesn't do anything. I don't hear anything. But I take another matter, another object, and I make it vibrate, move back and forth, and it creates sound. So let's try and see what happens if it's at the top of the glass. It creates a different sound. Those are called pitches. One sound at the bottom it's a pitch, and one sound at the top is a pitch. Okay? Now listen again and listen to see what happens when I stop moving the spoon. The sound stops too. So when I vibrate, when I make an object move, it creates sound. When I stop, the sound also stops. All right? Now let's try the water glass, that's full of water. Is it going to create the same pitch, like the same sound as the empty one? Or is it going to create a different sound now that it's full of matter, a liquid? What do you think? Let's experiment. Ooh, that is a totally different sound. The matter, when it vibrates, it still makes a sound, and when I stop the vibrating, it stops the sound. But they're different types of pitches. Good. Now let's also think of like instruments. If you were to be at a piano and you sit down and you do nothing, do you hear anything? No. But let's now pretend to play the piano. So when you vibrate the keys and the parts of the piano, you then hear sound. It creates sound. Very good, boys and girls. Now, we can also do an experiment with rubber bands. So if you want to, you can pause the video and grab 2 different types of rubber bands. So with this matter, with this object, it creates one sound. I'm going to do the same thing with a different rubber band. It creates a different sound. Good. So all we're talking about is how sound is created. You take an object, a matter, and when you vibrate it, you make it move, it then creates sound, okay? Now sound, the things that we hear are called sound waves, okay? And here's kind of just like a visual. So those objects that we were experimenting with, you heard the sound waves go into your ear and that's what you heard. So sound waves are invisible, just like air, but we know it's there. So let's take a deep breath and exhale. I inhaled the air, I didn't see it. I exhaled the air, I still didn't see it, but I know it is there. So sound waves, they can travel through objects like your door. So if you were to go up to the closed door, a closed door at your house, what do you hear? Maybe you hear what's going on outside, maybe you hear footsteps, maybe you hear people talking. You still have the sound waves going through objects. So also sound waves can travel through air. So like let's say I take a plane, okay, and it's up in the air, up in the sky. But you can still hear the sound waves. Or we take a whale and we're underwater and then maybe they're communicating underwater. They can still hear because the sound waves travel. That's amazing. Science is so cool. So when you have sound waves, some sound waves are at a low pitch, okay? Like we were talking about with the glass, how the lower bottom made one sound versus the top part of the glass. So a low pitch is when you have the vibrations, the sound waves moving slowly. So, and a high pitch is when you have the objects moving at a faster rate. So we just created 2 different types of sounds, a low pitch or a high pitch. Yeah, sound is everywhere, boys and girls. So your job for today is you're gonna experiment and find 2 different objects that you can create pitches with, that you can create sounds, okay? So I want you to be really curious, like don't just grab one thing that you see, like really experiment. And you're gonna choose one object to create a low pitch and one object to create a high pitch. And you can take a video so your teacher can hear your sounds, okay? So you will be creating sound, you will be creating sound by making the objects vibrate. Remember, vibrate goes back and forth, okay? And that, boys and girls, is sound, a type of energy, okay? I hope you really enjoyed the experiments. Maybe you can find some things around your house to experiment with to create sound. Like for instance, if someone's cooking in the kitchen, listen to what's in the hot pan. Remember, don't touch. But you can hear things sizzle, right? Sound waves! You don't see them, but you know they're there because you can hear them, okay? Now, matter, sound, and vibrate. Remember those 3 important vocabulary words, okay? Have fun experimenting. Take a video of a low pitch and a high pitch. Okay, 2 different objects maybe, if you can, and then post it on SeeSaw for your teacher to hear. Have fun with sound. Have fun with science. And remember, be curious kids. Ask lots of questions, because if you don't ask a question, you never know the answer. Bye, friends. Hey, families. If you look in the description box underneath the video, there will be a link that can give you some extension pieces that can continue your learning about sound. All right? Remember, science is everywhere. Enjoy. So just click on the link and have fun.